Great Demon King. Chapter 12. Poking one's nose into other people's business. Han Shuo opened his mouth but didn't manage to get a word out before Lisa began pelting him with a barrage of rapid punches. Her small fists hammered against him as she cursed. "Damn you, Brian! How dare you kiss me? My first kiss? Taken by a lunatic. This is horrifying. I'm gonna kill you." Han Shuo's mind was in turmoil. The kiss had left him just as shaken as Lisa. After all, if it was her first time, it was also his. Despite her outrage, Lisa's punches lacked strength. Her fear and the lingering pain in her butt sapped her energy, and Han Shuo barely felt her hits. Standing motionless, he racked his brain for a way to calm her and deflect her fury. Eventually, Lisa's attack slowed, and she stepped back, her eyes slightly red and puffy. She glared at Han Shuo, her expression a mix of anger and frustration. After a tense silence, she frowned and said coldly, "I'll let you off this time, Brian, if you answer one question." Caught off guard, Han Shuo blinked and asked, "What question?" Lisa's gaze sharpened. "Why has your strength increased so much lately? You could barely dodge skeletal warriors before, but now even zombie warriors can't catch you. And didn't you beat up that idiot Bach last time? This morning, Claude's fighting aura entered your body. Why didn't it kill you? Explain all of this." Han Shuo's heart skipped a beat. His rapid improvement was due to his training in magical Yuan, but he couldn't let her know that. Scrambling for an answer, he forced a naive smile and stammered, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been eating a lot lately." Lisa narrowed her eyes, suspicion evident. She leaned in closer, studying his face. "Eating what? If you tell me, I'll drop the matter." Han Shuo furrowed his brows as if deep in thought, then replied with feigned simplicity. "Magical reagent simplicity. Mix lizard tails and aardwolf teeth in warm water, let it sit for a day, and drink it, friend. That'll make you stronger." Lisa's expression turned thoughtful. She repeated his words to herself, murmuring, "Lizard tails and aardwolf teeth. Who would have thought disgusting things like that could work?" Han Shuo maintained his foolish grin and stayed silent. "Fine. I'll let you off this time, but I'm dragging you to practice magic with me next time." Lisa huffed as she struggled to her feet, only to wince and mutter angrily, "Damned Brian, that kick was too strong. Why am I always so unlucky around you?" Still rubbing her sore backside, she stormed out of the training room, grumbling loudly. Han Shuo waited until she was gone before quickly slipping away himself, eager to avoid any further trouble. Later that night, Han Shuo crept to the academy's trash dump under the cover of darkness. Reaching out with his magical yuan, he attempted to summon the small skeleton, but received no response. Gritting his teeth, he waded through the rancid garbage until he found it buried beneath the debris. The little skeleton lay crumpled and lifeless, its ribs broken and several bones scattered. Guilt surged through Han Shuo. This pitiful state was a result of his command to attack Lisa. "Claude, oh Claude," Han Shuo muttered, his voice low and filled with determination. "One day, I'll get my revenge." Cradling the damaged skeleton, Han Shuo snuck back to the warehouse, careful not to make a sound. The loose bones rattled softly as he carried it, each clatter pulling at his heartstrings. Once inside, he carefully closed the door and placed the skeleton in a wooden bucket. After scavenging for 7 broken bones, he inserted them into the bucket and channeled his magical yuan to form the magical yin concentration matrix. He hoped this technique, typically used to repair demonic treasures, could restore the skeleton. Unlike his previous attempt, Han Shuo didn't feel drained this time. The magical yuan, strengthened after absorbing Claude's fighting aura earlier, flowed steadily. A new thought occurred to him. With enough magical yuan, he could continue refining the skeleton and make it stronger. Satisfied for the moment, Han Shuo set the skeleton aside and retrieved the foundations of magic from beneath his bed. Though he had only recently begun studying magic, he approached it with relentless determination. He cross-referenced the text with a magical dictionary, though many advanced terms still eluded him. Sighing in frustration, he reminded himself that he was still a beginner. Mastering such material overnight was impossible. Determined to make use of his position, he decided to eavesdrop on necromancy lectures the following day. At daybreak, Han Shuo awoke feeling invigorated, his body brimming with energy. Glancing at the wooden bucket, he noticed the skeleton's ribs had rearranged themselves, and faint black light shimmered in its hollow eye sockets. Reaching out with his magical yuan, Han Shuo sensed a newfound vitality in the skeleton. Smiling, he murmured, You're lucky to have me refining you. One day you'll be strong enough to help me settle the score with Claude. Leaving the skeleton to continue its restoration, Han Shuo went about his daily chores before heading to the necromancy classrooms. Armed with a broom, he lingered near a window, listening intently to Master Genie's lecture on foundational magic. Incarnations and hand seals are essential for perfecting spells, Jean explained. Mistakes in either will render your magic ineffective. Magic harnesses the elements of earth and sky through mental strength, incantations, and precise gestures. Han Shuo absorbed every word, his broom forgotten as he lost himself in Jean's explanations. Complex theories that had puzzled him suddenly became clear. For once, Jean's monotonous voice felt like a guiding light. Suddenly, a crash interrupted the lecture. A student tripped over Han Shuo's broom handle, landing face first on the marble floor. Rising with a pained grimace, he turned to glare at Han Shuo. "Brian, how dare you trip me?" The student, Fitch, shouted angrily. Caught off guard, Han Shuo stammered. "I thought I was just sweeping." Jean chuckled from the classroom. "Fitch, back from another failed attempt to become an adept mage. Don't take it out on Brian. It was probably an accident." Fitch's face darkened, his frustration evident. Although he wasn't a bad person, his repeated failures to pass the adept mage exam had made him irritable. Genie's teasing only added fuel to the fire. Han Shuo groaned inwardly. Jean's attempt to defuse the situation had done the opposite. Now, Fitch's anger was fully directed at him.